That's right. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but hey, I'm doing good. I went in for a full physical yesterday, requirement by my insurance company, and the doctor was like, "Wow, you're doing good." So I was glad. I was very happy to hear that.
Well, good. Yeah.
Yeah. Lost some weight. Blood looked good. So yeah, all good.
Yeah, fantastic. I also had a doctor appointment yesterday and went in, and it was one of those appointments. Bend over and cough and all that kind of stuff. The worst dentist ever, I'm telling you. Jamie, how are we looking out there on traffic? I think you had some updates for us while we were on break this week.
For the latest in traffic, weather, and information, catch the Morning Grind weekdays on tncradio.live.
Hey, rideshare drivers, for the best in Uber, Lyft, and gig economy news, along with interviews, insights, stories from the road, and much more, tune into tncradio.live weekdays, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, and find out more at www.uberliftdrivers.com. That's www.uberliftdrivers.com.
Welcome to Taillights with the Baums. I'm your host, Angie.
And I'm Larry. Welcome in.
We're so glad you guys are back with us. We've got some special guests with us tonight. We've got Catherine and Ron. And Catherine and I have been friends on Facebook for a while, and we actually just met for the first time on Mother's Day. You want to say hi, Catherine?
Hey, everybody. It's so good to be here with Angie and Larry, of course.
And Ron, we finally got to meet Ron, too. You want to say hi, Ron?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Awesome. We had such a great time there when we went out to dinner and we did the convoy. That was a blast. It's nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you all.
I was going to have you guys kind of introduce yourselves and tell our audience a little bit about you guys. And Ron, I know that you're the truck driver, and Catherine, you are a trucking wife. But if you guys want to kind of give them a little backstory about you guys.
I was born and raised in Kentucky and back in the woods there, and been driving truck for nearly almost 30 years.
Wow. Okay, that's a long freaking time.
I hear you.
And then he met me, and I blew everything out of the water. So I am a very small town girl in Pennsylvania, not extensively traveled, pretty much stuck close to home. We met online, and it was 8 months before we met in person. And then 3 months later, he moved up here, and it's been 8.5 years, right, Ron? Is that correct?
Sounds good to me.
I mean,
have you been out on the road with him?
I have gotten to go with him a few times. Different places. I've never been to Chicago until I met him, so that was fun. And I got to go up into the Northeast to Rhode Island, which is a beautiful state.
Yes, it is.
So
okay, I think the funniest thing you told me was that Ron did not know that anything existed past Ohio. He had no idea where Pennsylvania was.
That would be true. I drove mainly down the Tornado Alley. Most people don't know it's from Iowa all the way to a straight line from Iowa straight down into Texas is what they call Tornado Alley. And the furthest I ever made it was up to Ohio, but every time I'd get to Ohio, my dispatch seemed like it would send me back the other direction. So, I mean, I thought Ohio was the end of the world.
And Catherine's like, no, I really do exist. I live in a state called Pennsylvania.
The world is round.
Yes,
The true irony is that Kentucky is a commonwealth, and so is Pennsylvania.
but we're not related.
But we're not
Well, that's good. That's really good. Considering you're engaged, I'm glad you're not related.
Same.
Okay, that was
Test
funny.
needed.
Yes. Oh gosh. Okay, so I was gonna say, I know you guys met online like Larry and I did, but what I think is kind of cool is that you guys took your time because you talked on the phone and you texted back and forth about 8 months before you guys actually met in person. So what was it like were you hesitant because he was a trucker, Catherine?
So I don't know if I'm naive. I absolutely was not, actually. I couldn't get him at the beginning when we first met online. I actually couldn't get him to call me, and I may have called him a chicken. And then he called. So the night that we met in person, so this is kind of where it gets kind of funny because our versions are very different, but kind of the same. He told me where he was on the highway on I-80 through Pennsylvania, which is pretty much straight through Pennsylvania. It's straight across. And right. I said, oh, I know where you are. You're going to go across the river, cross the bridge, and there's going to be a truck stop at exit whatever it is off I-80 at Buckhorn. And he's like, it's not in my gyps. It's not on my ELD. And I'm like, I promise you there's one there. And Ron, what did you cross?
I crossed what, for everybody listening, a river is a mile wide and, a mile long. Pennsylvania's river is, like 3 inches wide and maybe a quarter inch deep is what they call a river.
It's not.
That's a little creek.
I know, right?
It's
That's what I was screaming.
Inch deep. A mile wide and an inch deep. So,
but for a trucker, when you're saying you're going to look for a river, you're looking for a river full of water.
No, not
right.
Mississippi.
You're not looking for a sand bottom.
So in the meantime, he calls me and I'm like, okay, I'll meet you at the truck stop. Ladies, when they say they're in the white truck in the middle row, absolutely clarify that.
Good luck.
Right? I'm like, there's 80 white trucks in the middle row.
Yeah.
So I made him get out of the truck, and I actually had Chloe with me, my daughter, and it was sort of like, not to sound corny or cheesy, but it was sort of love at first sight. It sealed it sealed everything for me. I mean, I'm mushy. I know it. I'm going to admit it. Now he's stuck with me.
Okay, Ron, was it love at first sight for you? And make sure you answer this one right.
There's only one answer.
Actually, yes, it was. Because I'll be honest, when she stepped out of the car, the first thought went through my mind was, wait a minute. How could something that looks this good be interested in something like this out of Kentucky that's from the hills? And, I didn't find myself all that. And I'm like, are you kidding? Really? This has got to be a joke.
It was her freckles, wasn't it? I mean, her freckles just get you.
Honestly, when she stepped out of the car, I mean, I got lost right in when I looked into her eyes.
Oh, that's so sweet.
You guys are adorable. My granddaughter would say, you're adorbs.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, gosh. So you guys have been together now for a little over 8 years. And I know that, Catherine, you have 2 children and you guys are planning on getting married next year. Is that right?
2024. I want to give myself enough time for recovery.
Yes.
So should I segue into that or?
Sure, absolutely.
So for the listeners, I have been fighting breast cancer for just about 18 months. I have triple negative breast cancer, stage 3B. and it has been a very hard battle. But I think we're getting to the end of it. The end of it should be in August, and then I'll have reconstructive surgery in October. And I just want to give myself enough time that when I do dress shopping, things will be where they need to be.
Exactly.
You know what? Ron doesn't care.
No,
he doesn't. Well, he has been my biggest. Well, first of all, he's been my rock. He's been my absolute rock through all of this. And on that note, it's probably the hardest thing that he's. I'm going to talk for you, babe. But it's one of the hardest things he's told me that he's had to do as a driver was not be here with me.
I was just going to say, because most of the cancer treatments you've had to do alone because he's been on the road. So, and not that he didn't want to be there with you. It's just we all know that trucking takes us away.
This is very true. It wasn't exactly how I was planning it. I was actually thinking that I would be there more for her appointments, but it ended up that, with her not being able to work, somebody has to work, and I guess I got chosen to do that. And so being out here, I mean, it's a real challenge, because you're not there, you're not being able to be there when she goes to the doctor and hear what the doctors are, and then at the same time be there to tell her face to face, what the doctors are talking, saying, don't worry, it's all going to be good, we'll make it, you'll make it, it's all going to be good, but you have to do it over a phone.
Exactly.
Which makes it hard. I mean, of course we video each other, but even on a video, it's not the same as being right there next to each other.
You're not there to give her that hug.
Exactly.
That's it.
And that's just adds to the hardship of trucking. We miss it. We miss a lot being out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more than a lot of people, I think, realize. Even these newer, I guess you want to call them truckers. I don't know what you want to call them, but some of them aren't even rookies. They're a little bit lower than that. They think this is all fun and games, but it really, it's not. To me, I think this is probably one of the hardest jobs there is.
I agree. I totally agree.
It's almost not even a job. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, and if you can't adapt to it, and it's definitely not for you.
Yes.
On the flip side, I want to say, once you're in it and you adapt to that lifestyle, like Larry said, that culture of being in a trucker lifestyle, I had put in some of my notes, Angie, that it's a brotherhood and a sisterhood, and the relationships that you establish become lifelong relationships. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, we found that to be true ourselves. Hey, look at us.
Right? I mean,
the minute the two guys met, they were best friends.
Yeah, I know. That was amazing.
What was it I told you, Larry? It's a brother from another mother.
Right? Exactly.
That is so true. Oh my gosh. You guys are too much alike.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know, right?
And we have yet to talk on the phone.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness. So I was going to say, Catherine, one of the things I thought was funny was that Ron told you he didn't think that you would hack it as a trucker's wife.
Oh, yes. Probably one of the first things he told me after he moved up here. And I can I vividly remember sitting in front of the little gas station up the road, and he turned and looked at me and was like, he's like, I just don't think you're going to be able to do it. And I'm like, do what? And he's like, make it as a trucker's wife. And so my hackles went up a little bit, and I was like, sir, just watch me. And Now, that being said, like, I have adapted and I have gotten, I don't want to say I've gotten used to it, because you never really get used to the love of your life being gone, right? That being said, I have adapted and I am stronger for it. I am more independent than I was. But it's still a challenge. Like, I still miss him and I still want him here. And I don't know. I apologize. My dogs are fighting in the background.
I think that was a lot of the reason that I throwed it out there to her. Because once I moved up here, when I first got a job up here, I ran local, so I was home every night. And I had told her, you know, there's probably going to come a time that, you know, I'm going to have to go back to being gone, you know, a couple of days a week or maybe even all week. And, you know, she wasn't that independent at that time. And I was like, I don't think you're going to make it as a trucker's wife. You know, I really don't, because you're too dependent. And that was one of the things that I was trying to get her used to was, you know, that I'm not going to be there all the time, because if I have to go and, you know, go back out even as being regional, I mean, you know, I'm still gone from Sunday to Thursday, sometimes Sunday to Friday. And, you know, I told her, I said, you know, you have to be able to do things on your own and do them without me. And I'm going to be gone. So you're going to have to, you know,
okay, guys, we'll be right back with Catherine and Ron. You were listening to Taillights with the Baums.